What's up, everyone? We welcome Tobias from FiveRocks again to the channel to talk about our first investment, where we started in summer 2022 with the investment in Mönchengladbach. Everything went well then. Then in summer last year, you used the extension period until December this year. And now what we're going to talk about today is that you use a special extension again. Tell us, why is that?
Yes, hello everyone. First of all, thanks again for you, Axel, to be in our office and talk about our projects. Mönchengladbach, yeah, we have, of course, as you know, inner city development. So our project is very well located in Mönchengladbach downtown. In 2022, we started with the development or like with the negotiation with the city, and we did some planning and changes and so on. And then it took a lot of time actually for the city to find a solution, in this case with the parking situation, because inner city and it's very bureaucratic, the process, and they wanted to have like a certain amount of parking places. And downtown, it's, as you know, it's not always easy to find space for parking. So we had to be very creative, and we found a very good solution actually, but it took time. But during the time, that's why we matured or extended the maturity date again. The conditions on the market changed. So first of all, we had the plan to build, or like to get the construction permit and sell the land with the construction permit.
That was what we talked about in July.
Correct, yeah. Mm-hmm. Last year, as you all know, the situation in the real estate market is special, but in this case, it's beneficial if we build the project and sell the apartments, because there are basically micro apartments in Mönchengladbach, so very small, 30 to 55 square meter per apartment. So in this case, it's also interesting for investors to buy an apartment and rent it out, because for small apartments, you get generally for every apartment you get a subsidy from the KfW, so a very cheap loan, roughly around 1% on a 10-year period, so up to 150k. So in this case, small apartments, a good pricing in Mönchengladbach, meaning that most of the purchase price can be financed through the KfW subsidy. So in this case, the leverage is positive, and it's beneficial for investors. That's why we think we should not sell it right now with a permit, the land, but we should construct it or like build it by ourselves. We have the infrastructure in this area because we built in Willich. We have a stabilized construction price industry right now, so we have good prices, and that's why we think we should really build it and then sell it in pieces. And also, like, it's an attractive location in a city, and the demand is high for living also in this area. We do a KfW 40, so a very high, like the energy efficiency is very high. So I think it's a good ESG product when we call it like this. Mm-hmm. That's why we want to build it actually and sell it in pieces.
Can you tell us in short, for people that are not that familiar with construction permits and building permits, what was the issue holding the city back in terms of parking spots?
Yeah, it's bureaucratic. If you build a certain amount of apartments, you need to fulfill like a parking article of association. I call it like this. So where for one apartment you have to have one parking place, for example.
Okay.
So and right now we have in the first floor, in the ground floor we have commercial. In the upper floor, in the first floor, sorry, we have office, and then we have living in the second and the third floor. So we want to do like a conversion in the office space for living. So we have in the ground floor a commercial, then first floor, second floor, and third floor we have living. Mm-hmm. And this, of course, it's a negotiation with the city, and it takes some time, but we are very positive about this, and actually it would be beneficial for the project.
So you think building it yourself, even though it's going to take a while, would be more beneficial for you and for investors then paying the money back now and everybody goes their way and you sell the plot with a building permit.
Correct, yeah. And I mean, we don't know what the potential buyer will do with the project. And I think, okay, when we do like a footprint also for our marketing purpose, it's good in a track record to build it and sell it then in pieces. And because we know the project from scratch, basically. So I think that's a very sustainable solution.
You mentioned your other project in Willich, just a couple of kilometers away from Mönchengladbach, which started right around the same time, but it went very smooth. Right? A couple of weeks ago, you were there. We had this interview. I bought the property there. For that, everything went super smooth. In Mönchengladbach, everything got delayed a little bit, quite a little bit. What's the difference between those two projects?
Yeah, actually, as you see, planning and execution is mostly like there's a difference in most of the times. Of course, first of all, Mönchengladbach is an inner city development. There are more requirements, and also Mönchengladbach from the city itself, it's bigger than Willich, so the process takes automatically a little bit longer than expected, and compared to Willich. And yes, I mean it's. In Mönchengladbach, we plan to do like a KfW 40 building. In Willich, we have a KfW 55. So there's also a difference in terms of energy efficiency and bureaucratic side again. You have to fulfill certain criteria to get the KfW 40 standard. And and this is mainly the biggest difference, yes.
Man, I thought bureaucracy is hurting me, but for you, this seems to be another level.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of statistics and news in the media about how from 2000 till now, till 2023, how the bureaucratic and the regulatory side in construction increased dramatically. And yeah, I mean, this is what we are dealing with basically every day. I mean, you see here some photos.
Lots of folders.
That's only it's only a few folders from a lot. Actually, the most of the construction folders are in the other rooms. So yeah, you see, it's Germany.
And it's not like your company is 25 years old, so there's
Correct.
one folder for every year. The earliest is 2020.
Correct, yes. I mean, 2020 we started with acquisitions or like with the building up the company, and yeah, just a few folders, and mostly the construction folders are also in Willich in the office, and here in Munich also a few, but it's incredible actually, yeah.
In summer, in the last video that we did, you said there's two options that you are evaluating. That's why you extended until today. Either selling the plot with the building permit to another property developer and then he builds the property, or building yourself. And now you decided that you want to build it yourself. Tell us again, why is that exactly?
Yeah, I mean, it took some time now or last year actually for also the government to do like give new programs for construction or for the new construction field in real estate, and we did an evaluation of the project when we build it ourselves, sell it in pieces under the current subsidy situation from the KfW, where people can get very cheap loans for buying new construction, and this is basically the reason why we think, okay, now we build it ourselves and sell it in pieces. Also, like, we kind of feel that we reached the bottom of the crisis. So when we start with construction or with the building process now or early next year, then I think we can come in a good period where the market will pick up again. So in this case, when we just put pros and cons on each side and do an evaluation, there are more positive sides or like effects for building the project and sell it in pieces. So that's what we want to do.
Which is actually also beneficial for investors, because
Correct.
they get the 4% interest on an annual basis and the 20% profit share. If you sell it now with a profit, it would be a small profit. If you really build it yourself, it's gonna take a little while, but it's gonna be a bigger profit for everyone.
Correct. I mean, this is what the situation is. If you sell the land now with a permit, I mean, there are interested companies who would potentially buy it, but of course they want to negotiate and drop the price because of the situation right now. So yes, there would be a profit, a small one, and I think most of the investors from you are also like a long-term or mid-term investors, and they are sustainable investors. So I think it would be for all of us more beneficial.
Okay, so kind of this right now would be the small win, low-hanging fruit, low risk, but potentially there's gonna be a lot bigger piece to get.
Yeah, I mean, it's also one reason why we took so long in planning. It's for the like the entire period for the project. I think it's beneficial because we know every detail basically, or we planned every detail. So this would help then in construction later on.
Of course, we don't want to force anyone, right? So if some people want out, you said most of our investors have a midterm or long-term horizon. I agree. But if some people want out, we let them out, right? We don't want to force anyone. But if people want to extend and go the next step with you, they can do it as well. We'll actually let you vote on this. Tell the investors, why should they stay invested with you?
Yes, I mean, most of the arguments I already brought up, but generally to sum it up, I mean, it's a very good city, a very good location from the project. We built in KfW 40 standards, so highly energy efficient, so it's an ESG product generally. We built small apartments, which is also like matching the trend in Germany. So the average household is decreasing basically from, it's now I think two in average, 2 people per household. And so there are a lot of people living alone in Germany, especially in like metropolitan regions or bigger cities, which Mönchengladbach with approximately 250 inhabitants is also considered to myself as a bigger city. So we do something for the society, we do something for the environment with like a new building and highly energy efficient building. So I think this is the most criteria why investors should stay with us, stay invested, and then of course from the investor's perspective to get a higher yield.
The yield will be exactly the same. We had 4% on an annual basis. We're going to continue this until the final maturity, and the 20% profit share, that stays the same. But for the people who want out, what will happen to their investment?
Yeah, of course, we would repay their investment and give like a percentage of yield, like what is actually in the contracts, of course. Yeah, I think this is very fair, and from our side, because we want to have like a long-term relationship with investors, and don't want to produce negative vibes and negative news. So in this case, of course, we stand to our word.
I appreciate this as the owner of the platform. I'm pretty sure you guys appreciate this as well. There's a link in the description that explains absolutely everything, because you can vote if you actually want to prolong and if you want to go the next step together with Tobias and Michael, or if you want out. And whatever you vote on, we'll do it accordingly. Tobias, thank you again for joining the channel. Always a welcome guest. And best of luck for your property development in Mönchengladbach.
Thanks a lot, Axel, also for giving the investors a new update on the project. I think it's very beneficial for all, basically, and yeah, happy to have you on board.